Hi, this is Tom and Heather from Shadowfields, and this is Monday in the studio.
Monday in the studio. Please do subscribe to our channel, like, share, and click on that notification bell to know exactly when we're going online so you can hang out with us. Right?
Right,
Right.
right.
So, we're not going to probably wait for lots of people to come on today, but let's talk about what's been going on in the studio this week. You've been having a little fun, haven't you? Okay, you haven't been having fun at all. Any new mics? Like, do we bring
No,
it up to like 49 mics?
no, there are no new mics. Some
Oh,
new software.
okay.
Um,
And the rebuild is all done.
the rebuild is all done.
Okay.
So there is no issues,
Excellent.
other than the
Oh,
normal issues
sorry.
that are always there.
Yes.
But um, bought some software called Spectral Layers 10,
Okay.
which does spectral editing.
So it's
Anybody know what
all of that.
spectral editing is?
Yes.
It what it is, it gives you this spectrogram of your song, going, straight
Is it the whole
across.
thing? Like it's the whole thing within Nuendo.
Well, you're looking at it, like you could take a look at a track,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll show you the spectrogram, which is going to show low notes on the bottom, high
Mm-hmm.
notes on the top, and the brighter the color is in there, the more of that frequency is in there. So if there's a
Ah.
click, you could see the click as a line, a
Mm-hmm.
vertical line, somewhere, in there, and you can go in with an eraser tool and erase that click
Ooh.
without touching anything else.
Okay, so if
So
I
it's surgery. It's like audio surgery. You can get rid of garbage
mm-hmm.
and we've done that a lot.
So if we had the best take, but yet I dropped something on the floor,
That's
you could
fixable.
go in
And yeah,
and you could basically erase
yeah. Well,
that
we've
that
done that a
particular
lot.
sound.
We mostly use that. I used to use something called Isotope RX.
Mm-hmm.
I still have it, and I used it all the time for fixing the upright bass. Because
Yeah.
when Tony's playing the upright bass, an upright bass is a wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's almost not an instrument. It's
Right.
it's it's more wrestling than it
Mm-hmm.
is playing, and it makes lots of noises. It groans and it creaks and does all
Right.
kinds of stuff.
It's a big
And
instrument.
it's a very big instrument, and the higher the action, the harder it is to play.
Yeah.
And so we need to clean that up, because on a song like Alice,
Right.
you want that to be really clean. You
Right.
don't want to hear all that creaking and garbage like that. So I would take the audio, export it, bring it into RX, fix it, bring it back into Nuendo as another file, line it back up, and continue on. That round trip process ended up taking like an hour.
Right.
But now with spectral layers, it's built in, or it has a way to be built in, and I can just click on it, opens it up for that track. I can edit that track, then I can right click on that track and say, make this permanent.
So it saves
Done.
you tons of time in the
It
process.
it cuts out, you know, it cuts out the majority of time,
Mm-hmm.
because often it takes me longer to export it, re-import it, and edit it than it did to actually do the editing.
Right. Right.
The editing could be like a 2-minute process, but that round trip, you have to do the whole mix down. That's like, you know, it's almost real time. So you have to listen to the whole song,
Mm-hmm.
go out, and then come back in. So
But with it visual like that too, that's probably the icing on the cake because you can start to, you can actually know exactly where you need to pull it out rather
yeah,
than it
it's
all
a
kind of
it's a
being
very
monochrome or
it's a very cool
neat.
process. And
So what else have you done this week?
well, what was everybody drinking tonight? Is anybody all right? First, sign in because we know you're here, and then tell me what you're drinking. Tonight's drink of choice for me
Ooh,
is
what is that? Oh yeah. Your
uh,
brother John really likes that, right?
yes, it's Sweet Lucy. It's
Mm-hmm.
a handcrafted in small batches for smooth flavor. It's in Tennessee.
What's the flavor of it? Is it really sweet?
It's kind of a sweet whiskey,
Okay.
a very sweet whiskey.
Mm-hmm. So, I have my regular Arnold Palmer I want to call it the Jack Nicholas, but I don't.
See, it's almost the same.
Yeah, it's almost got the
Almost the
same
same
color.
color.
That's great.
Yep.
Well, that's what I'm hoping is that all of you are out sitting on your decks or, sitting by the pool and just kind of listening to us like around the radio. You know how you used to? You'd listen to like on
You were not born
NPR.
in the 30s, so you weren't like sitting around the radio all
Yes,
huddled
we
together.
were. Yes, my parents had us like it was NPR at night and we would listen to like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It was all acted out by NPR, National Public Radio.
And so you
it was every night.
Oh, yeah, at night my parents would dress us in black and say, "Go play in the street." That's what my parents used to do, but I don't know about yours.
No,
maybe yours liked you more.
We listened to all kinds of things on that. NPR NewsHour was big in the house. Big. It caused me great anxiety growing up. I really have a hard time listening to the news. But yeah, this is just like it. You get around the radio listening to Tom and Heather. It's just so exciting.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So we're gonna look at something tonight. There's something. Okay. What is that back there?
Okay, that's the other thing that we talked about last week. We talked that I got another instrument.
Yes.
When we were on tour.
Yes.
Our good friend Chris.
Yes.
Gave me what he thought was a sitar.
Yes.
Which in actuality is a Veena.
How do you spell that?
Veena.
A Veena.
Veena.
Okay.
Not a Veena. It's just
like instead of like
Veena.
a vino, like a vino lotion, but just Veena.
But there are specific Veenas.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Saraswati Veena.
Okay.
Saraswati is some Indian goddess.
Oh.
And
does she have long brown hair? Perhaps.
Darker brown than me if she was Indian. So that's what we got.
Mm-hmm.
He gave that to me. It had some issues. It was missing some frets.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends at work helped me find the right fret material because they're made out of brass.
Okay.
And it's just brass rod that's kind of set in to the fingerboard. It's a very funky thing.
That's
very
incredible.
Funky.
What's the sound of it? I know you're going to share with us.
It's kind of like a sitar, very Middle Easternish kind of sounding. This one is not very loud at all. It's very quiet. You're supposed to play them with these. I can't remember what they're called, but they basically look like somebody took paper clips and just bent them so they have a point, and you're playing with them with
not
that.
like a banjo, like in a banjo.
No, it's not like banjo has like these finger picks, like that. They'd be kind of like that, but they'd be much longer and much pointier. And
very cool.
So I don't have any of those, and I can't really play it. So I the part of the neck where the frets were missing, the fret is actually is just brass rod, but it has to be the right type of brass. Brass comes in various hardnesses. And this had to be a 360 brass, which is machinable, which means that it's going to stand up to like the strings going across it. Otherwise, it would be worthless.
Right.
It would just wear out. And surprisingly, it was exactly right.
Oh, that's cool.
Everything worked out perfect.
So what were like the three things that you had to do with this to kind of get it into the shape that it is
right
now?
I had to install the frets, the two missing ones. Then I had to use super glue gel to build up the places between where the frets, how they sit into like this trough, but that the sides of that trough were missing. So I needed to build those back up.
Oh, so you built the trough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I built a new trough for those. And then I had to restring it, and I had to figure out how to restring it. The difficulty with the Veena is it's like those people from India, like they got like a different name for everything.
No way.
Like, okay, this first note is going to be sa, and the next one is going to be pa. Like, what is sa and what is pa?
Oh, you mean like for do, re, mi?
Exactly.
It's sa and pa?
Uh-huh.
Sa, pa. No.
No, it's
No,
not like that
okay.
at all. And it took me forever to find somebody
That's
online
fascinating.
that I've been looking since I got this about, 3, 4 weeks ago.
Mhm.
I've been looking for somebody who would just tell me, what notes are these supposed to be?
Right.
I bought strings. They came from India.
Mhm.
And they're they're unusual because these strings have no ends on them. That's
Mhm.
just a string. So you have to tie the ends. So you're making a loop and then you're twisting it around like 10 or 15 times.
Mhm.
And it's pretty hard on some of
Right.
those strings are pretty thick. I didn't do nearly as good a job as the person who made it.
Mhm.
Um,
It sounds incredibly complicated, and when they see it,
it's
it's
I,
just
I don't
like
know
it's
if it
very colorful. Oh my
it's
goodness, it's
very
an
colorful.
incredibly
It's an
colorful instrument.
interesting thing. I was able to figure out how to tune it, what it's supposed to
Mhm.
be tuned to, got the strings on, which is a totally different thing as well because it doesn't have tuning machine like a
Oh,
guitar. It has
okay.
tuning pegs like
Mhm.
a violin, but
Okay.
just gigantic ones. Okay, you want to see
Oh.
it?
Yeah, let's bring it out.
Hey, if you're
Should we have
online, let us know you're here. What'd you drop?
No, don't worry about it. Just like a little should I like should we have an uncovering? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da! Dun, dun, da-da-da! Zavina! Look at that thing. That's amazing. You could really hurt someone with that, or it looks like it. Now, is this heavy? That is
Yeah,
heavy.
it's
Yeah.
it's fairly heavy.
So this is quite the. It's much larger than it appears. Actually, I think it's
Uh,
probably like 3 or 4 times.
I
what's
can't
this one.
possibly hold this the way it's supposed to be held.
Yeah.
You're supposed to sit cross-legged on the floor and like in the center section, and then the bowl on the back here sits on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and the
That is
and this
incredible.
little like Christmas tree bulb thing
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
sits on the other side. It's so that it sits flat.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
it's so complex. I don't even know where to look at first. Oh, neat.
it's a little tough to play.
Yeah. So these tuning, like, talk about the tuning rods here. What do
Okay,
they
well,
do? Oh, first of all, there is. Can we talk about the dragon? There's
there is a dragon on it.
there's a dragon. I don't know if we can show that. Like, yeah. So it has a mouth and the nostrils, and it has little eyes on the side.
Let's turn it on the
It's
side here.
yeah.
So
So it has fire, and this apparently is the extension of the fire, perhaps.
with this,
Yeah.
no, this is they consider it a resonator, but it doesn't do anything.
No.
It
Yeah.
is
Maybe
it's purely to keep the thing
from
from
falling.
falling over.
Okay.
But so it is tuned.
What
with-
is this? It looks like it's a gourd. Is a
it-
gourd? Is it a gourd?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah,
yes.
that's incredible.
So you tune these here,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not touching them right now because it took me forever to get the tune to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then down at the other end,
It's very pretty.
there's these little springy things
Mm-hmm.
that when you push them back, it pinches that wire, which then is going to raise the pitch.
Can I?
You see, you can get about a half
Nice.
step out of it.
Nice.
So basically, this is tuned to E. So that's E, B,
Mm-hmm.
E, B.
Okay.
Then E, which is the same as this, B. That's supposed to be a B, but it doesn't sound like it. And that is another.
That's very pleasing.
That's not right. That's supposed to be a B.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to figure
That's
that one
gorgeous.
out.
Can you talk a little bit about this inlay? Is this mother of pearl, or
No,
what is
no,
that?
No. It's all just.
It's very
It's
pretty.
painted and stenciled on there.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can hear, it's not a very loud instrument. And here are
Is
the,
this like a gold? It's like a, I don't know
these
what
are the
that's
two
inside
frets
of.
that I replaced right here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so this is
and
what you actually built
I
up.
had to build this up around these sides so it would hold in place.
Nice. Are you going to play us something?
No, that was it. That was the extent of what I can do with this.
That's really incredible. So are we going to write a song with that?
Only if we get another violin player, because Gary has threatened me that we better not write anything with that.
Oh my gosh. You know what? You can't see. Can you just move back just a little bit? Because there's
Hi,
a
Becky
heart.
and Steve.
There's a heart
Hi,
right
Kurt.
there. Hi,
Hi,
all
Tony.
of you. So there's a heart right there on the Veena. So people, if you haven't been here for the whole time, that's called the Veena.
Yes.
It's a Shadowfield's Veena.
All right. The Veena is a early classical instrument from the southern part of India. It's still used to this day in orchestras and things like that. But in the north, they started using the sitar. A sitar has 19 strings. Most of them are resonant strings, and the Veena has 7 strings. Only 3 of them are basically drone strings. And
it's it's amazing what you can do. I think that you like to learn about things like this, and then actually to
I started on it a little bit last night, and I started watching somebody play. I'm like, I can't get those notes out of mine. And then realizing that, all right, it was a Veena, but it was a different kind of Veena. This is a Saraswati. Very different than all the others. And there's multiple different Veenas. That basically they're different tunings for different cultures.
We should thank Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris Berry, is that?
Byrie.
We met him how many years ago? Maybe 6 years ago at Riders Inn, where we performed, and we've become very good friends with him.
At least 6 years ago,
yeah. And then the last time we met, he said he had something for Tom.
And so he opens up the back of his car.
It was like
and there's
unbelievable.
You saw how large that thing is. It's like 4.5, 5 feet long. And
the fact that we had any room in the trailer was...
and then it has a case that this thing goes in. That's like this big black coffin kind of thing. And that's like 6 feet long. So it just fit in the trailer across the nose of the trailer. It was nobody really liked having to bring that home.
No.
Nobody's ever happy when we come home with more than we left with.
It definitely adds weight to the trailer.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So where are you going to put it in the studio?
I don't know. Right now it lives in Studio B, along with all the other instruments.
Yes.
If there was some way I could hang it in such a way that it could be seen, I don't know. Not sure what I'll do.
We'll figure it out.
Yep, I'll come up with some idea.
So it's 20 after 8, and
wow, we haven't even started doing anything.
I know.
You just want to run through a quick thing?
Yeah. So drum roll. We started writing a song last week. So right after Monday in the studio last week, we started writing, and we're in that process right now. But I thought what we would do is to take you all with us on the process, because typically we don't do that. So we're just in the process of writing the song, and let's talk about what have we done thus far.
Well, thus far, basically we went through. I was on my way to work. I was listening through my voice notes, which I have, like I said, 550 voice notes, maybe 560,
right?
Which are all various ideas that I've had over the years. And I came up with one that was from 3 years ago or so. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It was just basically 2 chords.
Yeah.
But I played it on the mandocello. So like, well, that's interesting. I don't have many things on mandocello. So I played it on that, and then we listened to it, and we were like, maybe we'll do something with that. So from there, then I went to the piano. The piano is so much easier to write on. I could take those couple chords, and I can create a much bigger arrangement and things like that. And then we can switch it over to whatever instrument.
Right.
But I can get the entire essence from a piano.
Right.
So we got that, and then you jumped in while I was working on that. You're sitting over in the chair where the Veena chair,
Zavina chair.
and you're scribbling down lyrics and
Yeah.
coming up with ideas for melodies against what I'm working on. And so we're kind of working separate but in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
And if I come up with a chord change and you like it, you usually go, "Hey, I like that,"
Mm-hmm.
and I'll know. All right, I'll continue on that.
Right. So one of the things that I think about is what's the feeling of the song? What's the sense of the song? What are the chords kind of compelling inside of me? Like there's a feeling that you get, an emotional piece. And I'm not sure if all of you have seen Sound of Freedom, but it was very much kind of in my mind about, children, and
What is that? It's a movie, right?
it's about human trafficking. And
Okay.
this is like horrendous stuff that's been happening, kind of behind the scenes, undercover. And so, it's kind of the lyrics are a little bit haunting about, you know, we say that things will get better, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. So there's a lot of that kind of going back and forth in someone's head around that. And so the whatever chords you're playing, I always kind of think about what's that first thing that comes into my mind, and what can I write about that's meaningful.
Hmm.
So I was doing that while you were playing, and trying out different chords on the piano. And then what did we do?
Well, first off, let us know what you're drinking tonight.
Yeah, we missed some of you. So
Yes,
I have my,
I've got Sweet Lucy.
and I have my regular. I'm going to have to mix it up. I mean, I'm getting kind of boring and predictable. I'm always having an Arnold Palmer. Oh, yeah. Let us know what you're having.
I could make you a Tom Daly,
Ah, ha, 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 ha.
which is an Arnold Palmer with liquor.
Yes. No.
Anyway,
Yeah. So where we are, we have this, something from voice notes. You're now transferring it over to piano,
and then
building it out.
We stick it in just a basic idea of, here's a chorus. Let's just do a chorus. We record that in on various instruments. I'll throw a bunch of things on there just to get the gist. Then we'll copy and paste, and we'll move it around, and then you just come up and come up with ideas.
Yeah.
So for some vocals and some melodies.
This is the
and stuff like
funnest
that.
thing that I do. I don't want you to just go over it. Like, this is the funnest thing that I do, is I go up to the mic, and whatever comes out comes out. Now, it could be perfect, or it could need a little work. So,
and that's when my
this is the
producer
fun.
hat is not wanted.
Well, sometimes.
When I say, that note there should actually be.
No, I was really good this time.
You were.
This time.
I was not.
Yeah.
I was not too impatient with you. So
no, I think we've learned over the years. But yeah, this is the funnest part because it's completely improv. It's like, you just go up to the mic, you've got the lyrics in front of you, and sometimes I'll switch up the lyrics right as I'm doing it. And it's the funnest thing. It's a real good analytical high for me. It's kind of mixing it all together.
But this sounds. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan O'Malley. Yeah.
So the thing is that with where it is at this point, you'd think, oh, they've written a song. Let's hear it. It's so bad right now.
It's not so bad, but I think it doesn't have a groove.
I think that nobody could understand what it is at this point.
Right.
But as producers or artists, even some artists can never hear the end result. But I can always, from the very inception of an idea, I can hear the end. Right now, none of the parts completely work together because everything's out of time.
Yeah.
There's no groove, there's no pocket or anything like that.
Right.
But I can tell that when I do get to the point where I'm ready to do something with it,
you know exactly what has to be done.
Yeah, and I know how to make that have some power.
I think that's your genius, because you can hear a completely formed work in your head as it's moving forward. And I remember sometimes it was like, we got to get this down really quick, because while it's in there, you've got to get it down, because it somehow has to match what you're hearing. And do I ever mix that up for you by like singing a sixth or a seventh or something?
Yeah, usually. Usually you'll sing something that's outside the chord, which
Right.
is usually the interesting point
Yeah.
of the melody.
Yeah.
And then we're working with other people, and when we work with other people, we have that same thing. They come in with their song,
Yeah.
and then we work as producers and engineers on these songs with these other people, and ultimately it's their song.
Mm-hmm.
But as we listen to it, I feel like a responsibility to say, you know what? It's too long.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5-minute song, which should be a 3-minute song.
Right.
But then you get into areas where people get really kind of touchy about that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I want all the stuff in here. And I brought it up before with some people. I said, do you want it to be heard? Or you just want it to be what you want?
Right.
And
Right. Yeah.
most often they say, I want it to be what I want it to be.
Right.
I don't care if anybody hears it.
Mm-hmm.
As a producer, I'm like,
Ooh.
I
Well, because
because for
we
us,
want to be able to hear it too. We want it to be interesting
right.
and have those little ear candies along
So
the way.
so then what you do is if a song is dragging on, and it feels like there's more to it, or too many parts, then you have to come up with things that make it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Take people on a journey.
Right.
And so we're just at the start of the journey on this song.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing.
Now, we don't have really lots of time to talk about it because we're going to talk about what's going to be coming up next week. But we would like to talk about, I think next Monday, about how do we know a song is done, and what some other people have said in their songwriting process about when is a song done. And
well, there's difference
wait,
between when is a song done and when is a mix done.
right. And I think we're gonna get to that point where there's three things for us. Number one, when does the song go to the guys?
Yeah,
So
this one's nowhere near ready.
It's not
for the
really
guys.
near yet, but we're going to keep you informed as we go along. And then two, when is the mix done? And then three, when is the master done? Because those are those at least for our songwriting process, that is those three kind of stages that we go through in order to complete a song.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that next Monday.
Maybe we'll do little snippets or whatever, like here's where it began, here's where it's gone to,
right.
Here's where we're at right now.
We're going to have to be brave. We're going to have to be brave.
It's not brave. It's like totally putting yourself out there. No artist wants anybody to hear half-baked ideas.
Right.
And currently it's a half-baked idea.
Right. Right.
But we see some value in it.
Yeah. And of course there's way too many lyrics. So we're still working on that.
Yeah, we'll get it going.
So this week, we got a lot of stuff going on in the studio. We have a gentleman coming in tomorrow night, Christian Hansen, that we met at open mic. He's coming in tomorrow night. And we've been working with other folks in the studio. I think a cellist is coming in on Thursday.
Yep.
And this Sunday, for those of you who are in town, we have a songwriter session. We have 4 songwriters in the Chicagoland area that are going to be coming to do showcases at Pollyanna from 2 to 4 p.m. on Sunday the 23rd. So we'd love to have you come by and support our local musicians. We think they're pretty terrific, and we think that you will think they're pretty terrific too.
Yeah. Is this the 3rd one or is this the 4th one? How many have we done?
I think this is the 4th one. Is the 4th one.
Could be.
We have Justin Frosch, who we met at open mic. All of these were at open mic. So Nick Scarpinato, and Larry Etchins, and also Luis Martinez. So please come out 2 to 4 p.m. on Sunday the 23rd. We'd love to have you out.
Okay. So we're basically out of time. I ate it up all with the Veena.
The Veena!
How about that?
You'll have to tell us what you think of the Veena, because I think it's pretty cool.
So this is Tom and Heather from Shadowfields. And thanks for being with us again.
In the studio. Yes, please. We're at 209, I think.
219. We're like stuck at 219 people.
We need you to go out and tell people about us. Ryan, go market us. Please subscribe to our channel and connect with us on that notification bell so you can be connected with us whenever we go live. So thanks so much. We miss you all. We hope you're having a great summer, and we'll see you next Monday on MITS.
All right. Bye.
Bye.